How many of you recognize the following scenario? You're setting some time to work on a project. So it's an important project, a proposal you need to do, a development of something, whatever it is. And you work on that and you're really, really busy with that. And then suddenly the phone rings. So you pick up the phone, you answer a little bit, and then you go back to your project. And then there's an SMS, so you check the SMS. Then you're sitting next to your computer to write it, and then every time there's this blip of a new email comes, and you can't avoid, you just go and check the email. Some of us are going through the round, checking my email, checking my Yahoo account, my Gmail account, my LinkedIn, my Facebook, going to Twitter, and then continue to work 5 minutes later, going through the round again, Yahoo, Gmail, Google, whatever it is. How many of you, would be willing to admit that you're doing something like that sometimes? Look how many hands. This is ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen. This is ridiculous, okay? So what happens at the end is that you never finish the project, and what you do is you decide to do it in the middle of the night, after the kids are asleep and your partner is asleep and whatever it is, when you have a little bit of time without interruptions. Anybody recognize that you work late at night to finish stuff? Okay? So that's something that we all can relate to that. Studies show, let me ask you, they did studies how long the average small entrepreneur, people that have small companies or a one-person company, they made the research how often they are being disturbed, interrupted by phone call or an email or an SMS or whatever it is. Do you know how long you, on average, I'm not saying you personally, but on average, how much time you have between interruptions? Anybody can have a guess of how long it takes before you're being interrupted the next time? You say 10 minutes? 7 minutes, 5 minutes? Well, you're very pessimistic. Actually, well, at least the research was done about a year and a half ago, 11 minutes. 11 minutes. You're being interrupted every 11 minutes. So you have 10 minutes or 11 minutes of work, and then there is something going on which you actually give it attention. Okay, if it's an SMS that you check, if it's an email that you check, if it's whatever it is. So every 11 minutes. So is that good? Is that bad? It's really bad. But that's not the real bad thing. The real bad thing, do you know how long does it take you to come back to the place you were before? No? 25 minutes. That's the research. I mean, I didn't invent that. Every 11 minutes you're being interrupted, and then it takes you 25 minutes to go back to the space that you were before. This is ridiculous. This is crazy. How can we do anything? Is that making sense? Is that making sense? No, it doesn't, but we do that. We allow it to happen all the time. That's called interruption. Okay? Now, how many of you, by the way, recognize that you're being interrupted quite often and then you don't remember really where you were, or it takes you time to go back to the chain of thought or whatever it is to where you were? You recognize that, right? Many of you recognize that. Now, the scary thing about these interruptions is what they do to our short-term memory. It's all research that's been done. They find out, every time you ask yourself, where the heck was I? It just kills, seriously, it kills our short-term memory because of that. You know what else is killing our short-term memory? Yeah, well, marijuana, a lot of it. I'll show you in a minute what happens, what's better for you to do, if it's marijuana or a mobile phone. I'll show you in a minute a few more points. University studies show that people that switch between things, the multitasking, or the people that just switch, they now answer email, then they go and search on the internet, then go back to the email, they're losing 20 to 40% of their effectiveness. 20 to 40% of their effectiveness. That doesn't sound like a lot. But think about it. If your effectiveness is connected straight to your income, you just lost 20 to 40% of your income because you allow emails to disturb you. You allow SMS, you answer the phone whenever it rings, whatever you do. The other thing that it does, it kills your intelligence. It lowers your IQ. They did about 2 years ago an amazing research in London, actually, and they found out that the people that are what they did is they did a very simple research. They let a group of entrepreneurs, they put them in the room, asked them to fill up an IQ test, intelligence test. And they let them fill up and everybody got their points. Then they let them fill up the same test again, the same IQ test again, nothing changed. The only thing is that they kept on interrupting them in the mobile, either sending them SMSs or emails. Now, the people were instructed not to answer those phones, not to look at their SMSs or the email. They just let the blip going on. They lost, all of them on average, lost 10 IQ points. 10 IQ points just by letting those interruptions being there, not even going and opening them. 10 points of intelligence. I don't know, you know, I feel pretty stupid to lose that. The same research team did the same exercise, same experiment 2 years before. They did it to check the influence of marijuana, smoking marijuana, on your IQ. Do you know how much those people lost after a whole joint? How many points? 4. This is 5, this is 4. Listen carefully. You better be stoned than entrepreneur. Intelligent-wise, your mobile phone makes you stupid.